Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Live with Roger Hanson. Today, we have a special guest with us that's going to do an interview, and this interview is going to be interesting. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a while. It's who's here. We lovingly call her Sonia Galactec with an E, not an I. Galactec,
Yep. Thank you.
and and she is not only involved in doing stuff on the internet, but she is also a professional tattoo artist, and that is what the interview is going to be about today. Um, so, with that, before we get to the interview, I'd like to welcome Mark Edworthy onto the
Hi.
show and say
Hi.
thank you for being here and supporting us. I also like to introduce Sonia Galactic. And with that being said, I would like to ask if, or I'd like to hand it over to you, Sonia, and ask you to give us a little background behind how you got started in the tattoo business and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. That's a good question. It started many years ago. It did, though. Let's see. I guess it really started over a cute guy, for sure. A guy I was like totally in love with back in the day. It was the summer of 1997. And I actually had a. I'm sure you guys heard in prison they make their own machines that
Yes,
are made out of tape player motors and
they're
whatever
actually
they can
they're
find,
actually
really.
they're actually called gel gun tats, and
Uh-huh.
that's going to be later on in the interview. Just so you know, I do
Okay, sure.
want
Yeah, I could tell you all about that. I haven't been to prison, however.
to.
I
Mm-hmm,
do know a bit about that because of knowing people who have been to prison. And
mm-hmm,
actually, my son's father, who died in 1993,
mm-hmm.
he had made a machine, back in the day, and he was tattooing on himself, and that was right before he actually got shot. So it was right before he was murdered, and so it was laying around the house, and I seen how he used it when he was using it, and it's funny because he wouldn't let me reach a spot where he couldn't reach. I'm like, oh, I'll do that for you. He's like, no way.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's funny how things have progressed. But so in any case, so that was laying around the house, and there was this guy he was like friends of everybody, and he was just the cutest thing ever. And so we started hanging out, and I mentioned to him about the tattoo machine. He's like, oh my God, tattoo me. And he would not stop bothering me. And I'm like, I get to sit there next to him all night long, drinking Jack Daniels and being like this close to him while I'm tattooing on him. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that.
Now, how old were you when you
I was
actually started?
probably, it was 97 when I actually
Mm-hmm.
started.
Yeah,
So that was in my 20s, I think, something like that. Yeah. I really don't know.
it
Um,
kind of gives us a little background of what was
it
going
does.
on there if you
Hmm.
can't remember your age and
Right,
or
right.
what year you were.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I definitely know it was 96 or 97. It was one of those. And so I tattooed him, and did, like, I pretty much learned how to tattoo on him. And then of course everybody else around me wanted a little tattoo. Like, I did a little banana on this guy on his arm right here. It's like silly tattoos like that, but people like go crazy. Especially, this was in Oklahoma, and tattooing itself was illegal back then in the
Mm-hmm.
state. Like, you couldn't tattoo there, and so I was like an outlaw. So it was really cool. So I was like, I will go to jail for being creative or whatever, which that never happened, of course. But it was just kind of one of those rebel things added to
Mm-hmm.
the whole scenario of it.
Now,
And then, go ahead.
when you say it was illegal in the state, what state were you located in? Do you mind saying it?
It was Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay.
Oklahoma.
So
Yeah.
that's where you started out is in Oklahoma as a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I would say just at home. I wouldn't call me an artist back then. Of course, other people did, but I've always known how to draw, so it's
Mm-hmm.
never been like a special kind of talent to me.
Mm-hmm.
But but there you go. So so yeah, and then it just kind of progressed from there. I'm self-taught. I didn't apprentice under anyone. However, I wanted to, but I just could never get into a shop. I moved then from Oklahoma to, where was it? I think it was back to Vegas. Yeah, or no, it was Arizona. No, it was Vegas and then Arizona. Anyway, yeah. So over the years, I perfected the skill of tattooing, and I was doing hair at the time too, like a professional cosmetologist and teaching beauty school. So I already had all the sanitation stuff down, things like that. Whereas apparently, that's kind of overlooked by some of the unprofessionals, that aren't in shops and things like that. Even
Right.
some of the guys that are in shops out here in Arizona, because there's no licensing in the state of Arizona for tattoo artists, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, so I had to go to school for like a year to do hair to get a license to cut someone's hair. But if I poke them with a needle and make them bleed, it's anybody could do that. So it's pretty
now,
crazy.
now I know you said that you it was a cute guy, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
honestly, what got you interested in tattoos in the first place? What really sparked your attention to make it
I
where
just
you
like the way
wanted
they
to?
look. I like the way they look.
Hmm.
Because it's kind of like the badass thing. If you don't have a tattoo and once you get one, it's like it's an instant badass thing. So instantly you're like, I remember back in the day when I just had this little skull up here, which I went in and you can kind of see it, but I went in and had him do just this little top skull guy here, and I just
Hmm.
thought I was the coolest thing. I had my arm out the window. You know how it goes.
That's hot
Maybe,
too. That's
yeah,
hot too.
right,
So
for
hot,
sure.
man.
But yeah, so it's kind of that, and plus too the whole it's very therapeutic, like especially like emotion, like if you have emotions that you got to kind of work through or whatever, it can really help you to get some sort of a symbolic representation of how the strength it took to make it through that, or just how you feel about things, to where it's like a constant reminder and uplifter
Hmm.
to your spirit kind of thing. So that's also part of it, sure.
Cool.
Hmm.
Now I have the questions about the gel gun tattoos or
Okay.
gel gun. Actually, in the first place, it sounds like you have a good story when it comes to that gel gun that's sitting on, what was it, on the coffee table?
No, it was packed away for a while, but it was sitting on the coffee table when that guy came over.
Now, we know that you've done gel gun tattoos at this point, but
Yeah.
what's your thoughts when it comes to using gel guns? What's your
Sanitation is the main thing, because there's really no way to, unless you rebuild your machine, and professionally they're called machines, not guns, just so everyone knows. So
Mhm.
I just have a habit of calling it a machine. But so if you rebuild it every time and use a new like ink pen tube, if that's what you're
Mhm.
using, you can use different things, but then there's really no way to sanitize it.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like that. That's the main thing. But you can do great art with it. Sure, absolutely. It depends on the artist, not the machine, really.
So, what's your most memorable gel gun tat that you've ever done, or some of the most memorable,
Huh.
other than the banana?
I remember, other than the banana, right? Thank you.
All right.
Uh, I remember, because I did the majority of them on Gary, is the guy I'm talking about. It's not my ex roommate. It's Gary number one. We call him. He's in Texas, and I did. Have you ever heard of Paul Booth? He's a tattoo artist. He used to be really famous back in the day. He did like gory type of black and gray work, and he
Mm.
would do it freehand, and it was just amazing the stuff he was doing. So we were rockers, and we were really into like gory type of scary skulls and things like that. So I tried to do a couple of replicas of Paul Booth, which I mean, I was just starting. So he still has all that work on him, which is hilarious. And then after I became a professional, I went and did more work on him to kind of clean it up and stuff. But there's still some beginners on there, which are kind of cool. So I'd probably have to say that the ones I did on him are the most memorable, because I spend so much time with him. Like I said, I practically learned how to tattoo, just practicing on him. So
Yeah. And see, the term practice is very, very important too,
yeah,
especially when it comes to tattoo artists, because when they say they're practicing, that means that there's some poor guinea pig that's allowing them to
yeah.
just like put tattoos all over their body for
Oh yeah,
free.
yeah. There's plenty of people that would just let you. They don't even care.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
I'm curious. If you haven't got a live subject to tattoo or to practice on, could you use something like, I don't know, a lump of pork or something?
Actually, pig skin works pretty good to replicate. They also have fake skin that you can use. It's very flat though. So it really just gives you the ability to hold your machine correctly, because the machines, they have all kinds nowadays, but back when I started, they had the coil machines, which is this, which are they're kind of heavy, and it's like when you're not used to using those muscles, you got to kind of get used to it, because your hand will be sore at the end of the day. It took maybe a week or two of my hand getting used to it before it didn't hurt anymore. Like, it's like working out pretty much. But yeah, so there's these, and pigskin is definitely, and also the self. When with my apprentices, I always have them definitely do a couple of tattoos on themselves so that they can get more of a feel of how deep they're going, how fast they want to move the line, along with just verbal instructions and things like that. It's kind of the practical part of the class. Yeah. So there. Yeah.
See, that's pretty good information.
Hmm.
Um, Now, the one thing that I do um, want to ask you, talking about like the gel guns, is when you mentioned the conventions, okay? Now, have you ever participated in gel gun competitions at conventions before?
Um, at conventions, they are it's all professional stuff. So if
Hmm.
you can't have one of those machines there, that's not. They make like replicas now, which really they're just rotary machines. You know.
See, that's kind of weird because like whenever I was running with tattoo artists, they used to have they used to call them freehand. Uh, but that was kind of like a slide to where they could get away with it. You know what I mean? But people who were into gel guns, they had their gel gun art, and they would have competitions to where person who does.
Well, yeah, there's like prison art type of stuff. It's definitely a certain style or genre of tattooing, sure. But as far as the equipment goes, there's professional equipment that they use
Right,
in place of having an actual homemade machine.
right.
So, but there's competitions in all kind of all genres, like color, black and gray, and then the skip shading, which is what you see in with the jail gun tattoos,
Hmm.
um, because it's a single needle, and there's probably maybe 1% of all tattoo artists, professional tattoo artists, that use single needles. They barb very easily, and once a needle's barbed, it won't put any ink into the skin. It'll just rip the skin up like hamburgers. So really, I think threes are probably the smallest needle that people use. I have an example of a 7 right here, which is, let's see how close I can get that. And it's actually pretty small, but there are. Sorry, my camera's not that great.
It's all right.
Let's see if I put it
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, there are 7 tiny little needles in here, just tightly grouped and soldered together. I used to
Hmm.
actually solder my own needles back in the day too. Yeah.
That's cool as heck. Now,
Hmm.
how did you go about soldering them?
They have a little needle jig, and
Hmm.
then as you can see, there's a place where the needle grouping fits onto the bar right here.
Hmm.
And so you just take the bar and then you put it in the jig, and then you have your soldered together needles, which is another jig, and then just solder them together right there. It's very easy, actually, but it's so much. I mean, this needle is probably like 2 cents. They're so cheap that there's no reason anybody really has to make them. You know?
Well, for me, I've be honest, I've never had too much time around professional tat equipment. You know what I mean?
No?
Machines, as you put it. Most of the people that I ran with were on gel guns and stuff. So
Since we're
I
on the
have been around them. Huh?
oh, sorry. I didn't mean to
I'll go ahead.
interrupt. I was just saying, since we're on the topic of needles, I have this 15, which is what I usually use. I prefer actually like a 21, a much bigger needle.
Hmm.
But this is it's like a mag grouping, which
Oh yeah.
is similar. It's like a paintbrush almost. It's like
Hmm.
similar to, it's 15 little needles, but they're placed like this rather than flat. Rather, they do make flat ones though, but flat ones, if you don't know what you're doing, well, you can just slice the skin open with those pretty much if you're not careful. So mags is kind of what everybody uses, really.
Now, whenever I ran
Excuse
off
me.
to Kansas City with my buddy Lauren, he was a tat gun, or he was a tat artist, and that's
Oh,
where he actually started doing. Started out with pro guns. That's what we basically professional tat gun.
yep,
But
yep.
he tried that, and I remember he said that it was a freaking nightmare. Like getting
Mm,
used to that was hard.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember when I first switched over, and I used these. I used a 3 liner, which is the very very smallest one for the most part, besides a single cat hair is what they call it.
Hmm.
But I used a 3, and when I switched over, like I was telling you guys earlier, it was like, man, my hand, it felt like I was, like lifting weights with my hand. It was crazy. It was difficult to get used to. It was, and I only used 3 for like 10 years. I used only like a 3 liner, and I would do big pieces, and people would look at me like other artists, that I would come across. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I did this piece with a 3." They're like, "What?" Because that's insane. Nobody would do that. First of all, it takes forever. To fill in a patch this big takes like an hour with a teeny little needle. So, but it's kind of like when I was doing hair. If you can do a mannequin's hair and make it look okay, then a person's hair is going to be much easier. So it's
Hmm.
like starting with the tough stuff first, and then I didn't, of course, know that. I just didn't really know about mags, and I didn't want to try it until I got into a shop, which was Diablo Tattoo, which was my first shop that I got into, and that's a whole nother story. And then I started using 7 mags, which is kind of, they have 5s, but that's kind of the common when you first start as a 7 mag, and it was really difficult to get used to shading with a mag as opposed to with just a liner. So yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
that was that was actually probably one of the most amazing times whenever I was involved in it was whenever I seen Lauren switch over from gel gun to freaking professional.
Hmm.
And I remember him going through the hand thing too, where it was causing. I mean, it was a serious issue because gel gun is really light. It
It
really
is.
is.
It's like a pencil almost.
Well,
Hmm.
basically, that's what it is.
Hmm.
That's really what it is. And then when he had to use that gel gun or that professional one, it tore him up. It took him a long time to get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple points where I was worried if I could even do it.
Mm. Now,
You know.
I did want to get more into the tattoo conventions, but you mentioned something that was very very cool, and we need to talk about it, Sonia.
Hmm.
We need to talk about your tattoo groupies.
Oh. Yeah. Right.
You know this is important, dude. You know that, and it's actually the
Uh,
funniest and the best stories when it comes to tat work. Okay, you know
yeah.
it's true. Okay, so first of all, have you ever had tattoo groupies?
Um. Yeah. Kind of. I
People
guess.
that you practiced on?
Um. Well. Yeah. Yeah. For the most part. However, uh, groupies. Well, kind of. There's one lady that came into my shop when I had Viking Spirit tattoo, and she wanted my autograph and a picture with me after I did a little tattoo on her. I'm like, okay, you know. It was funny. She's really cool. I did quite a few tattoos on her. She would come in and hand me wads of cash all the time, like without, you know, she's like, here, I want something next week. I'm going to pay you now. I'm like, okay, cool. It was sweet. Yeah, she was a great customer. She's out here too. But yeah, most of my customers were like friends, or, you know, not, well, kind of more, you know, we got to know each other because we spent so much time together. So we kind of became friends. I'm real personable when it comes to stuff like that anyway, you know. Just so, you know, it's easy to make a like a friendship, you know, with people you're working on.
Well, I think we're having like a miscommunication here. Like when I say groupies, man, I'm talking about the groupies that well, first of all, have you ever had people that found work for you, and like whenever they're around you, give them, you know, free tattoos because you're practicing and stuff, and they'll go out and they'll find work for you and things of that nature?
Yeah, I think that's kind of just how you get started, really, you know, stuff like that.
Got any
and
cool
then eventually
stories?
you start charging. Cool stories. None that are really coming to mind. You know, I kind of figured that when, you know, once I was like a tattoo artist, and it'd be like I'd be rich, and I'd have like all kinds of groupies or people like, you know, like fans, I guess you could say. And it really wasn't like that at all, or isn't. But yeah, especially back in the day when tattoos were more sought after than they are now. Now, like, everybody has one for sure. If you don't have one, you're kind of the odd person, you know.
Yeah.
So whereas before it was kind of the opposite. So
Poor Mark
yeah,
Edward.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
he needs like a little document tattooed on him. A little document page, just in little writing. A, B, C, no, kind of thing. That'd be cute. Put it on your neck. Neck tattoos are rad, for sure. Yeah, nobody will mess with you. Go in the grocery store with a neck tattoo, people will definitely look at you different. Especially if you're wearing a suit.
A little Mark Edworthy. Mark Edworthy, and have it put on his buttocks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Butt tattoos are rad. Love those. I've got some stories about butt tattoos. There's a chick who wanted slut. I think it was dirty slut or something like that, put on her ass. And that's not the first one. I have put those type of, I don't remember the one after that, but it was right on her inner thigh, you know, right in that area. And so it was for her boyfriend, you know, both of them were actually. So, and then little cartoon characters on ass cheeks. I don't know, I might have sent you one. You could tell because it's kind of wrinkly. You know, people sometimes have wrinkly butts. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. And yeah, butt tattoos are awesome, for sure. And I know what you're thinking next, huh? And I have tattooed a couple of those. Yes, I have, absolutely. And it works best soft and wrapped around like a toilet paper roll. Like, because you got to stretch the skin when you're tattooing. It has to be taut. So you got to kind of use, you know, equipment to kind of, and like Harley. Yeah. Like one was Harley, and the other one was like, I don't even remember. I think everybody talks about getting the money, the $1 million bill or whatever once it rolls out, or, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a joke. I've never done one of those. Dollar bills, I've done money before, very detailed. There's no guy that's going to sit through that. And ink spreads over time. The lines, no matter how small you do them, they end up spreading. It spreads. So if it's too detailed, you're going to end up with a black blob anyway in 10, 20 years, you know. Mm-hmm. So less detail, the better on tattoos, for sure.
Okay. So Okay, so I take it you have been to conventions before, right?
Yes.
Okay, now,
Actually, just one. I only went to one.
okay, what do you think about tattoo conventions? What's your thoughts about them? To be
I think
honest,
they're pretty rad. They're pretty cool. I like them.
kind of
For
give us
sure.
kind
Well, it's real busy. You can book a lot of people, like from the get go. There's tons of people that want tattoos, and you just kind of work the entire time you're there and make a crap load of cash for the most part. You can even charge more at conventions. Some people do. Yeah. And actually, the one that we went to, it was when we had Viking Spirit Tattoo, and the news for Arizona, one of the news stations came by, and they were, filming everybody, and our booth was right there. So they ended up interviewing us, and, so we got to be on, our shop got advertisement on TV. It was pretty cool. It was pretty sweet. Oh, and we had other advertisement we got for free too, because there's this guy that came in, and he was a friend of a whoever, one of our customers, and he just wanted paint. Like, you know how when they go to football games and stuff like that, they paint up whatever their team is, like they'll put face makeup on, like, so it
of.
was like a Cardinals thing, I think it was. And so we did the maroon color all over with the bird kind of thing going on his back and stuff. And we ended up putting Viking Spirit Tattoo on his back. And he was one of the guys that was really painted up for the football game that was going on. And this was in 2000 and I think 11. Yeah, or 12, right in there. 11 probably. Anyway, and he was on the news once again, and he was talking to the player. It was one of the players that was like the big, the big guy everybody dressed up for. And so the whole time the camera was on him, his back was facing the camera, and it said Viking Spirit Tattoo. So we got on TV again. It was really cool. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was excellent for sure.
Now, what are some names of the tattoo conventions that you know of?
Well, there's AZ Body Expo, and then there's Hell City, and Hell City apparently goes everywhere. And those are the guys you can't just rent a booth from there. You have to be invited. And those are some of the best artists out there, is Hell City tattooing. Oh my gosh. Those are the kind of artists that make you just want to throw your machine down and walk away. 'Cause you're like, I can't fucking do that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's either inspiring or kind of depressing. It depends. But got to stay on the inspired edge, of that whole thing. But yeah, there's some excellent tattoo artists. It's crazy what people can do with a machine these days. And they don't even have to work that long. I mean, any good tattoo takes time to do. It's not like it is on the tattoo shows that were out, a while back, like that one where they had the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers or whatever. He was like hosting it, Dave Navarro,
Yeah.
and that other old school artist guy. Yeah, well done tattoos take a lot of time. They're not quick.
I was going to ask you, what's your longest, most complicated, complex tattoo you've ever done?
Wow, that is a good question.
I mean, look at her, dude. Shit. You know what I mean? The girl's got tattoos everywhere, and I'm sure
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I should ask in a single session. In a single session.
In a single session. Oh my gosh. In a single session, oh geez. I know there's been a few. Probably, I wouldn't say it, well, it was kind of difficult, but maybe not design wise. Because once you get to knowing your art, design wise isn't never really a complication or a difficult thing. But this girl had come in, and she was a stripper, and she had went to some home artist somewhere and attempted to do a sleeve, and she didn't have any other tattoos, and it was the craziest looking thing ever. It was so poorly done, and it was such a it was horrible, and she was in pain because she just got it done. And when you're doing a tattoo, you don't ever want to work on it. Some people do, like the next day. It depends on the person. If the person can handle the pain, then that's fine, because Usually 2 hours is what a human can go through on straight tattooing before their blood pressure goes up. They just start bleeding more and more and more, and any ink you put in comes right out. And so there's kind of a 2 hour threshold. However, there are those people who can go way longer than 2 hours. And I've done 8 hour sessions before that were like butterflies and pretty stuff on this chick. And she was a tough chick. And actually, guys are more wimpy than chicks when it comes to tattooing. In my experience, they're more of an
No,
ow
you're right.
than the girls are.
And especially the after effects. I ended up getting a tattoo on my shoulder blade because I was supposed to be cool. You know what I'm saying? I got actually two of them
Shoulder blade?
on my back shoulder
Kind of a
blade.
girl spot. It's
Well,
kind of a girl spot, Raj.
that's because girls are tough, dude. I
Yeah.
figured that out real quick. And like dudes that get in me, for example, okay, I didn't realize that when you had them on the shoulder blade, you actually have to sit on couches. Okay. And
Yeah.
when you sit on couches, if that couch isn't like nice and soft, it's gonna freaking hurt, dude.
Yeah. That's
You know,
another thing with tattoos is you'll realize how much you use this part of your arm, when you get a tattoo there.
mhm.
You don't really notice it beforehand. So, yeah.
But I'll be the first one to admit I was a big baby until that thing healed, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I felt like freaking I was gonna explode, like my head was gonna blow up or something.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Well,
Is it,
I was
I was going to, is it true that it's always advisable to increase your glucose levels or eat chocolate, drink fizzy
Um,
drinks beforehand?
sure. If that's something that concerns you, yeah, absolutely. Because I have had people pass out before, just fall over, and usually we'll have candy or something at the shop to give them because it helps. But there's various reasons why people pass out. But yeah, I would say eating first is definitely something that you want to do. And a lot of people ask about the alcohol drinking, and
yeah.
if you ask me, drinking's fine. I mean, as long as you're not a complete dickhead and you haven't drank a fifth of Jack, a couple of beers is fine. I used to drink a couple of beers and take a Percocet before I went and got work done. Because this shit hurts.
Mhm.
It really does, especially on where you get it at. So I would say drinking. Professionally, we don't tell people to drink because you never know people. Some people are crazy and they're just gonna fucking whoa, and then they'll come in, give me this tattoo, bitch, or whatever, and it's like bye.
Yeah.
So, and we used to our shop was right next to a bar, so there was quite a few drunkards that come over asking about tattoos. Yeah.
Now, I've heard too though that when you go to tattoo somebody who's been drinking, the blood is a lot thinner and it causes problems with the ink. What's your
Yeah.
take on that?
Yeah, I agree for sure. I've even had customers who had drank the night before and they were sober at the time, mentally, but they had drank so much, like hard liquor usually is what does that, and it would be like tattooing them over 2 hours to where they just bleed out the ink to where it's not even worth doing. You're just gonna have to redo it again, you know.
Mhm. So that so right there you've got it straight from the tattoo artist, guys, ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen. If you want a good tattoo, don't come in drunk. Or how long would you suggest for a good tattoo for them to stay away after
At
they
least a
drink?
day. Just a day. Yeah, it depends on what they drink too. If you had like a couple of shots the night before, then you're probably okay. But if you had like a fifth, then you're probably not okay. I mean, there are exceptions to that, but when you're doing the professional shop thing, you don't really deal too much unless it's your friend. Like if your friend, then it's different. And that's how we find these things out. Is working on our friends and stuff like that.
We like to call those groupies.
Okay, those are the groupies. Okay,
Yeah,
you mean
those are
like the shop groupies, the ones that are always hanging out at the shop kind of thing?
Right. There you go.
Okay,
You're starting to
okay.
understand. See,
Yeah,
that's
well, we didn't have too many of those. There was, I'll send you some pictures of my storefront here in a second, but, or my old storefront. But But yeah, there were those that would hang out at the shop, and they kind of got the hint after a while. Not too many people. They would usually the ones that hung out at the shop would be the ones paying for the tattoos. So
Mhm.
it was like there were just our customers kind of thing. There was a couple that tried to hang out, and it just doesn't work out because it's like, can I help you? Why are you here?
Mhm.
Kind of thing. But after the shop closed, we'd kind of hang out, and my partner who had the shop with, he was a pothead. I mean, he smoked like not while he's working, but after work, there would be like, I don't know, 5 people would come over, so and we'd all hang out and smoke pot and things like that, and drink beer and things like that. So that was kind of a typical night, really. Or we'd go to the bar and hand out cards, for like the next day or whenever, whenever we're working again. So it was part of work, like to go to the bar, and we had like karaoke Sunday where we'd all go do karaoke, and then we had a day where we would paint. We'd do oil paintings. That's all we would do that whole day, is just like close down for customers and just do oil paintings. It was pretty cool.
It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Now,
Sure.
this is probably the last part of all the cool gossip and everything that we can get from a tattoo artist, but this is something that's very important. Okay, this is something that every tattoo artist should have a story about, and I hope you've got one for it. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Now, this has to do with your traveling habits. Okay. Now, most tattoo artists that I've met have traveled a lot around the country.
Mhm.
Okay. So, do you have any stories that you'd wish to share about your traveling habits after you started doing tattoos, and all the cool places you've traveled to, and all the small towns that you've traveled to, if you got those?
Um, the only one that really comes to mind is I now know that you don't want to take ink on an airplane
Mm-hmm.
because the bottles will explode normally. Some of them, not all of them exploded, but a lot of them did. I guess because of the air pressure type of thing going on. So yeah, that's kind of the only traveling type of story I have that's where something weird happened or different, especially with equipment.
So
Yeah.
you had ink blow up on you in an airplane.
Yeah, in the storage compartment area there.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
heard similar sort of things with people who carry fountain pens and those glass jars of ink. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same concept for sure. Yeah, and heat also is not good for your ink as well. You don't want to keep it outside or anywhere that's super hot. I found that one out too.
You know
Yeah.
what's so cool about me, dude?
Oh, I'm sure there's lots of things, Roger.
It's the questions I ask, because that leads us up to the next question, and believe it or not, I did do this in the right order, but this is where we get to ask you if how do you feel about using acrylic paints, inks?
You mean in tattooing?
Yeah, acrylic.
They don't work. They don't work. Non-toxic as they say they are. It's not that they're toxic. It's just that they don't stay in the skin. They push right out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that was one issue that I knew a lot of my friends had, and they always complained about it. Well,
I actually tried using. This was back in the day when I was tattooing on Gary. When I first started, we wanted to change it up because we used Indian ink. The
Mhm.
the ink you buy at Hobby Lobby or whatever. So we wanted to get some red ink going, and we're like, what do we use? Because I didn't have like a professional supplier back then or anything, And we tried that paint that you use on cars, like model cars, those teeny little jars that you get,
Mhm.
and it did not work. Well, it kind of made it pink a little bit, but it healed crappy, and it probably was poisonous for him. I mean, it said non-toxic, but still, it didn't heal that great. So yeah, so there's only certain types of ink you want to try using. Acrylic is best for the canvas for sure.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the thing that gets me with the acrylic when you bring that stuff up is like there's a lot of people who want you to use acrylic ink.
Mm.
I was really amazed with how many people in Kansas City said that they wanted you to use acrylic. You know what I mean? When it came to gel gun and stuff, and I was like, dude, seriously, you know how much trouble
Wow.
that stuff is?
Yeah, I've
Uh,
never heard of that before,
yeah,
really.
they
I mean, you know.
it's pretty messed up that actually that
Yeah,
was one thing that stuck out to me that was pretty bad. So
that would not work. Be a bunch
now
of pain for nothing.
now what is the type of ink that you prefer to use? What kind of ink are you using? Would you mind?
Well, I have kind of a variety right now, but I usually use Intense, or something like that. There's Mom's ink, which has been around forever. And then Stigma is pretty good. I like this one too.
Hmm.
So there's many different um, brands of professional ink out there. Fusion has some really good colors. Um, and I've been out of the shop for a few years now, so for many years actually. So I'm not really. I don't do the shopping too much for ink as far as I just get the colors I know. I don't really shop around the different brands, but I'm sure there's plenty of new brands out there. You know.
When it comes to like have putting a quality tattoo on somebody, though, I mean,
Mhm.
what kind of ink do you look for? You know what I'm saying? What really sticks
The
out to
ones
you?
I've used before. If I'm working on a customer that, especially a customer that I don't know and I don't know how they take ink, there's a lot of people take ink differently.
Hmm.
Gingers, actually, ironically enough, have super light skin, and you'd figure they would take ink pretty well, but actually they don't. I don't know what it is in their skin, but it you got to really pack it in there on a ginger. So actually, I did a free sleeve when we had the shop, because I wanted to do whatever I wanted to do, like my certain style, on
Hmm.
just a brand new sleeve, like someone with no tattoos. And so I offered it for free so I could get my kind of style out there. And and she was a ginger. I interviewed sleeves for like a week, or people, and I
Hmm.
chose her, and that's kind of how I found that out. I mean, it was fine. It's just that the touch ups, there was more touch ups than there should have been, and than there could have been, I suppose you could say. Not should have, but could have. And because some people just, their skin just soaks up ink so nicely. And those are usually the folks that have a little bit of, like, the kind of people who tan when they go out in the sun, as opposed to burn. Their skin seems to hold ink a lot better. So the type of ink I would use on everyone, even those that take ink well, is the kinds that I've experimented with and that I know go in well under
Hmm.
pretty much any circumstance. So the familiar ones that I've used before, really, you know. But any professional ink, the ones that aren't from China, and not the ones in the tiny little bottles, the little case they give you, buy a little tattoo case, they give you these little ones. Those kind of work, I guess, but that's not a professional ink. So any of and usually you can tell that by how much you pay for the ink. If you don't know any better, then you can tell by how much you pay for it, or just find your favorite tattoo artist and look and see what they're using. Because chances are they're going to be using a professional ink if they're a professional tattoo artist. So
Right.
you can kind of go like that too if you're looking for an ink. Sure. Hmm.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah.
actually see that's constructive information right there. You didn't think we were going to get much information off of this interview, did you?
Oh, I did. I already know about this kind of stuff. I find myself going on and on and on about this. I'm like, wow, how much do you know about this? I'm like, I don't know, a lot apparently. Because, tattoo aftercare, I could tell you all about that. I mean, I wanted to open up a tattoo school at one point just because, I just wanted to share the information. I think that goes with the whole, I was a beautician instructor for a while. So I have this teacher vibe going on, sharing information kind of thing, or showing people how to use certain tools and things like that.
Well, what this part is all about, though, right? This is where we start freaking doing the cool stuff that you just wanted to do. Like, we're going to ask you if you would be willing to show your equipment a little bit more,
Hmm.
and then kind of give us a guide, let us know how it works, and do what you want to do. Like if you had a school, how would you tell people?
Oh,
You know what
wow.
I mean? Just
Yeah.
just just
I
go.
haven't thought about that for years.
Well, I'm just saying, like at this
Yeah,
point right now, just think about it. Like you have a
sure.
school and you're trying to show people how to use this
Sure.
stuff and all that good
Okay.
stuff.
Well, in theory, we went over uh, power supplies, and now this is the practical class. So what we're going to learn is what our parts are on our, or at least how to plug in. You want to plug in your clip cord, which goes to your machine, okay, into your clip cord port, not the foot pedal port. There is a foot pedal. I didn't bring that with me, but that would go into the other side, and then you would adjust your RPMs right here. And then you would take your coil machine and put it, there's little holes in there. I don't know if you can see them, but you would put your clip cord in there. And then every time you press your foot pedal, bzz, bzz, would go off and on. So that's how it's kind of, what is this? The telegraph machine kind of first came up with this sort of thing right here. Yeah, it's kind of the
Yeah.
same concept where it just cuts off and on the electric or the power just really fast, basically, and it makes it go up and down. And then there's all kinds of parts to your machine, which if you were in a class, you would definitely have to build a machine yourself and have an array of different things you can choose from, parts that you can choose from in order to build a working machine. Because these are actually, this is a cheapie. Okay, this just first off, this is super cheapie. It's like $10 or something like that. It's probably made in China, but there again, like I was saying earlier, you can, even if it's made in China, you can do good work if you know how to draw things like that. If you have the skill down. So there's that. And once I seen actually a video. I don't know if you guys are aware of the China machine thing in the industry, but there was a video, and this was back when I first started, and I was looking around. I'm like, oh my God, how do I do this when I was learning, And I was like, oh, I finally found a video on, it said how to tune China machines, right? And when you played it, dude, threw it on the ground and used like a sledgehammer and like busted it into a million pieces. And I was like, oh man, well, that kind of told me something, but I can't really do that to my machine. So that tells you anything. They're not well respected at all. But there again, like I said, you could do anything for a couple of bucks. If you're able to do it, you could do it with a homemade machine. But in any case, these machines, there's a lot of machine builders out there that they're, for a good machine, is usually 200, 250. It can go up from there. Some of them are 1800. It just depends on what builder you choose and what machine you like. There's many other styles besides coil machines. This is a coil machine, the old school kind. A lot of guys won't use anything but this, but and this is the one that has the weight to it. But there again, they have cordless ones now. They're wireless, and it's like just holding a pen. You just, where it's not even, no weight to it, no cord to it. It's just so freeing. I have not used one of those yet, but one of these days I want to try it out, see what that's all about. But yeah.
Now, on your opinion, between the two, which do you think is easier to use, a pro gun or a freaking gel gun?
Pro.
Pro.
Yeah,
after you get
yeah,
used to it, of
yeah,
course, right?
for sure. There's many more. First of all, it's more sanitary,
Hmm.
and there's a lot more needle groupings. There's a lot more adjustments you can make, rather than just having your tape player motor with your guitar string bent into the little rolly thing and have it sharpened with an emery board. That's
And
how it was. Yeah.
and I mean that is an important question because like I know like my buddy Lawrence Smith, like I said, he's in Kansas City. He's a pro now, but like he straight up told me years after when we talked about it, he was like, man, back then, because when he finally started using a pro machine, as you call it, um,
Hmm.
it was hard on them. And I've heard a lot of other gel gun artists say freaking that they wouldn't do professional because it's too hard, But I think that from what he told me, he's like, man, after you get over it, it's
Hmm.
really easy to use.
Yeah.
It's actually better than
Well, it's like
than doing
anything.
what you're.
Experience. Just a matter of
Yep.
yeah, using these things and testing them out. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to go pro, then you have to do that. You can't, there's no pro that uses a homemade machine unless they built the machine themselves, a professional machine.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's kind of like
Well,
that.
Mark, you need to understand though, like what she was talking about, like when you first start. Okay, imagine freaking being an Olympic freaking heavyweight weightlifter. Okay, that's how bad this gun gets on your wrist. Okay,
Mm.
it is. I do know that because I'm not going to tell everybody all the dastardly things I did. You know what I mean? Like I made this really cool rabbit.
Dastardly.
I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is like I used my buddy's freaking pro gun, his pro machine, and it was hard. It was really really hard. It
Wow.
causes some
That's
serious
crazy.
issues. But I did
I
it
didn't know
for
you did that.
yeah I did quite a few
Wow.
of them, but it wasn't
Yeah,
anything.
I want to see one of these days. You'll have to show me.
Well, I don't know anybody that I did them to anymore. It's like I told you
Oh, okay.
before, like everybody,
Okay.
especially
Got it.
here, everybody that I know here that used to be in the tats are pretty much dead. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, you did
yeah,
say that. That was kind of a downer when you
it's
said that. But yeah, I do remember that for sure.
so my background wasn't really all that positive when it came to tattoos. Like we ran around and did a lot of things that we really shouldn't have done back then, So,
No.
but but this isn't about me. This is about you. Okay,
Yes.
so now that we did that, let me ask you: do you do both freehand and stencil?
Um, sure. Um, Usually I'll do a stencil depending on the subject matter, of course, but usually I'll do a stencil and then from that you kind of just freehand afterwards, like with your color or your flourishings around it or whatever it is. It depends on the customer too. A lot of customers like the freehand. Most customers know that to get the best tattoo, you let your tattoo artist go to town. I used to call it Tattoo Town.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I did too. I was gonna get a sign up of my station, but yeah, and because to get the worst tattoo, keep nitpicking your tattoo artist when they're actually tattooing, and you'll probably get a pretty like tattoo that's all cringed up and like I tried to be art but I'm not quite there, kind of thing. Yeah, when you let your artist be creative, you'll get a way better tattoo than. I mean, you got to have parameters on what you want, sure, but you don't want to be too stringent or judgmental about something that you've never done or don't really know much about. As far as like the procedure for tattooing and things like that, I've definitely had some customers like that. And after doing hair for so many years, and teaching students to deal with difficult customers and things like that. It was, kind of a breeze, I guess it would be for me, but other folks, I mean, the tattoo industry has changed over the years. Back in the day, you'd be out of that chair quicker than shit, with a lot of these guys, the old school guys. They wouldn't put up with that shit, but I put up with a lot of shit that probably not many would, as far as the nitpickiness about, like staring at you when you're doing a line and then saying, is it supposed to look like that? Or what, I mean, not necessarily. Most of them are just innocent questions, people just don't know and they really want to know, which is kind of how I got to look at it when going in like that, because it's like, well, is it going to make me bleed out doing it on my wrist, because the veins, and I'm like, well, I just have to explain it doesn't go in that deep, and no, it won't, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of, weird type of questions that I've had to answer. And then there's the people who are just trying to criticize or whatever, or just plain straight up assholes. We've had a couple of those in the shop before too. And I apprenticed my, the partner I was working with, I had apprenticed him in tattooing. So any issues that come into the shop, I'm going to help him out, of course. And he had quite a few customers that were kind of assholes about things. But, what can you do besides just get their tattoo done and get them out the door,
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be a marriage or love affair with them, don't take it personally or whatever. They don't even know. It's not like they can, even some people, have had a perfect tattoo or a tattoo done the way they wanted, and then they still complain, and then there's some that you do something that you could think you could do better on, and they just love the shit out of it. So it takes all kinds, so. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like I almost triggered you there, because like
triggered. You had
a
Could
moment.
you be less woke? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
What does that even mean?
I know.
Triggered.
I mean, it's just
Triggered me to answer the question. I don't know.
when you get a tat artist to start talking about their customers, that's when a bunch of stuff comes up.
I love my customers. They're like I said, we're
until
all,
you have to talk
friends.
about them, because then you start noticing the weird ones that come up, and the ones that are like picky about what you're doing, and
yeah, those aren't really my customers. Those are just ones that had come through the shop at one point.
Yeah,
my customers are like your
bros
ones that come back all the time.
Your chicks and your bros. Yeah,
working on big pieces with and things like that.
But you're going to find that in any industry, especially creative industries. You're going to have good customers, you're going to have bad customers. You don't know.
Exactly.
Customers,
yeah. Just like anywhere else, really.
No, I've popped up the pictures of your tattoos. So I got the first one up.
Sweet.
If you got a story that you want to say with that one, say it. If not, tell me when you want me to go to the next one.
Okay. Well, that one and the one next. Go to the next one.
That's better.
And were they not? They weren't next together. But that bird, and there was another bird, a phoenix, on another guy that was on the girl, and these guys were so in love with each other. It'll probably be coming up here pretty soon. Okay. I thought I laid them together, but in any case, yeah. And there's a guy with a bird on his front, and when they stand together, their tails intertwine, and it was just they were so in love, it was almost made you want to throw up. So that was a great tattoo. Many hours on those. And that was, just some little writings there. There's a Viking guy I used to tattoo on.
Let me find the bird real quick. You said the bird?
Oh, it's coming up.
Okay, yep. Gotcha. Oh,
it's right there, yep.
Okay, now which one was the one that was the guy?
There's the guy.
Is that the guy?
And then when they stood next to each other, there they are.
Okay.
This little tail looked like it was intertwining with her tail, and they were flying together in their love. Yeah.
Isn't it weird how people who get tats have like this weird imagination? Like my tat on my shoulder blade, It's a butterfly with the face of a freaking leopard as the
Wow,
pattern.
that's interesting.
I don't even know why I thought of that.
A
I just
butterfly.
a butterfly
Cute.
with a panther's face as the
That's
pattern.
cute. Hmm.
That's code word for gay, isn't it?
A little bit. Not really, though. I mean, not really, because there's a guy, it'll probably be coming up here sooner or later. There's a dolphin that I tattooed on this dude. He came in one day, and I never seen him since, just one of those random customers. And he was like a trucker guy. He wore a hat, and he had kind of fluffy hair, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, sure, we got time. What do you want to get? And he's like, well, I was thinking a dolphin right here, and he didn't have any other tattoos. And I'm like, a dolphin? Just fucking weird for this dude to want a dolphin. And I did him a cute little dolphin on his shoulder. He loved it. Thought it was the greatest thing. So, and I don't think he was gay. He could have been a top. You never know, really, these days, and it wasn't any of my business, so I didn't pry. But there's those odd requests for tattoos, That was on my apprentice. He wanted some tomatoes with the potato cleaver. That was also on my apprentice. Yeah, those right there. Crazy tattoos. Yeah, one of my apprentices, actually.
Right there?
Yeah, and the wounded artist one on his eye, under his eye, which was really cute. It's an adorable tattoo.
Now, I don't know what to say about that.
I know, right? That's why we did it that way, because we laughed our asses off when we were tattooing that. Oh my God, it was so funny. We were just randomly.
He even spelled tattoo or potato on the
It's a potato cleaver cutting tomatoes.
that is interesting.
Isn't it? That's why we did it.
Yes.
Exactly. Thanks for noticing. Appreciate that.
That is cool.
Yeah, it was hilarious that day, for sure. He had a bunch of crazy tattoos.
So
that's how apprentices usually are, really.
Okay, you got the cowboy.
That was another one of our apprentices, actually. He didn't last very long, though. There's a dolphin.
Is that the one that you were talking about?
That's the dolphin that the guy got. Yep. Yeah, cutie, huh? It's a cutie.
It's really interesting that I'm able to use this slideshow. I'm really surprised.
It's really cool that you can do that. Yeah, I like it.
I was going to download them and stuff and put them on the OBS separately, but then whenever you said you had all these, I figured I might as well just use the slideshow. So
yeah,
that's the one with your other apprentice. Is that what you said?
The Lego guy, Cowboy Lego. Yeah, he didn't last very long though. I think he's actually tattooing nowadays somewhere, maybe.
There you go.
Yep, Cowboy up on his neck. It was a neck tattoo. I love those.
Now, see, usually most people who wanted acrylic wanted this kind of effect.
They glow in the black light. It's a black light tattoos. Yeah, not glow in the dark. They don't have those actually.
Yeah. Well,
that's phosphorus.
Yeah.
So you got to have a black light, and those are the kind too that are. I should have took a picture of them, just in the light because you can't even see them; they're invisible. So he was a DJ, so they only showed up when he was DJing. It was pretty cool. I don't like after that though. I did not advertise black light tattoos anymore after that because it's so difficult to get the ink in there, especially on hands. Hands aren't super easy for ink anyway. Some parts are, some parts aren't. Up by the knuckles, not so easy. And it was just a fight to get that ink in there. So, so I just quit doing black light tattoos.
Is there any part of the body you wouldn't advise having a tattoo on?
Oh, God.
Well, the palms, because they just fade. As you can see, my ones right here wouldn't go any further down than kind of like, see how it's faded right here? The closer to the palm you get, the more it's just going to fade. You could punch it back in there, but it'll fade again, usually, unless you go super deep. But then when you do that, it spreads out and sometimes distorts the entire design. Knuckles are great for doing too. They kind of distort as well. But I mean, what I always tell people is that if you want your tattoo there, get it there. I mean, because the last thing you want to do is go home and look at it and go, man, I should have got it on my hand or whatever. You totally want to get it where you want. If it fades, oh well, do it again, And
Mhm.
so, I mean, usually we would do touch ups on any tattoo. We do like one free touch up. If it fades somewhere or whatever's going on with it, we'll touch it up for free. But on hands and like the bottom of the feet, or skin like callousy type skin, or skin that's just that can callus like that, we wouldn't do free touch-ups on, because it's going to fade. It's a guaranteed touch-up, and when we put ink in, we don't put it in so it comes out. So basically we're not really liable for that. It's kind of a risk you take, but I would say do it if you want to do it there. But those are the places I would just inform. It's like informed consent kind of thing, just inform your customer what they're looking at for things like that, because some people, they just don't know.
See, and that's amazing. I'm glad that you actually brought that stuff up. You know what I mean? Because I know that I have heard that acrylic is of most of all is like the worst kind of ink that anybody could ever want to put on their skin. Like, and then
Yeah, it's not even a tattoo ink, so I don't know what they're
yeah.
tripping on.
Well,
you know?
back in the day when they had like what was it? They had like a lot of these cool rave songs. You know what I mean? That was the big thing. They liked that whole effect. You know what I mean? So they would put this weird paint on their body
Mm-hmm.
in their tattoos and stuff. And then they'd be like going to raves and saying, "Nice shot, good shot, man." Stuff like
Yeah.
that. And they're all sitting there
Well,
with
there's the black light ink. There's different colors of black light ink. There's the invisible kind like there, and then there's the fluorescent orange color, which glows fluorescent orange under black light, and you can see it, very faintly, but you can see it on the skin too.
Mhm.
Green. There's all different colors of that available that aren't acrylic, that are made for tattooing.
Are
So I
they
can see though
are,
the
are,
raving thing where they get that idea. Uh-huh.
are they good? Are they good inks though? Are they
Hmm.
really
Your pro inks, yeah.
okay? So you want me to move on to the next
Sure, sure.
cool picture? That blue guy, he really stuck out though. He got a lot of attention in this picture.
Yeah. Huh.
Well,
And go ahead.
he's got that devil worshipping look to him.
He was a Wiccan, so you know how that goes. But yeah,
Hmm.
half a dozen of one and six of the other kind of thing. And that's a Merkaba that I drew on an old. He was a friend,
Hmm.
pretty much, and he told me to do whatever I wanted to on his chest. He gave me so I did like an ET. If you zoom in on that, you can see kind of the designs on it that are very ET looking or alien looking. So I used to do this kind of, like light language writing or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I was just kind of messing around with it, and just that's kind of the freehand thing that you were asking about earlier.
Cool.
But yeah, so I did a little Merkaba on him with some magical stuff on it. It was huge too, as you can see his nipples right there, so it's smack in the middle of his chest.
Ha, ha, ha.
He liked it because he's like, "I love you, Sonia. Do whatever you want of me." I'm like, "Okay, here we go." And he paid me too, of course.
That's
He
cool.
wasn't one. That was once I was a pro.
Hmm.
After that, to where, because back in the days when you did most of your free ones, or like
Hmm.
on your apprentice, we would trade work on each other, things like that, of course. But you know, usually you end up tipping or something.
I'm gonna keep moving before. So if anything pops out on you that
Okay.
you want to say a story to, let me know. There's that meat cleaver. My
Hmm.
goodness, that was a sick man, dude.
Oh
Sick.
yeah, you should see some of his other tattoos.
What is that next to it now?
That is a party favor. Those woo where you blow it and it goes
Okay,
woo.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my
Silly,
goodness.
huh? I know,
Weird,
retarded, isn't it?
weird. And I was like, well, Lauren, I was talking about him before, okay? Lauren was a weirdo too. He back when he was doing gel gun, he would just take the the gel gun, and he would just start drawing lines all up and down his arms and shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, why are you doing that? And he wasn't even drawing anything. You know what I mean? Just lines. And I'm like,
Wow.
why are you doing that? He's like, because I wanna.
He was perfecting his artistic flow.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's the weird,
Uh-huh.
weird people
Yeah.
in the tat world, man. They have like a mind of their own. It's you know what I mean. I'm not even just
Mind of their own. Yep.
it. You know what I mean. It's not even the tattoo artists alone. It's the people who are into tats. You know what I mean. They have just
Mhm.
this, except for the chicks who, like I've noticed that chicks are more of, they're the ones that see it as like an adventure, but there's the ones that are shy and don't want people to know they have a tattoo. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
There's definitely different types like that for sure.
where, but I found it to where like women are the ones who actually, like guys, whenever they get a tattoo, yeah, whatever, they're getting a tattoo. But like girls, women, they think that it's like some kind of adventure or some kind of excitement. You know what I mean?
Well, it is.
You know,
You know.
it's that dark little secret that they have that nobody else knows about. They got that little tattoo hidden on their body that nobody can see. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of that, believe it or not. Like,
Yeah. The personal ones.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
They usually have some sort of a deeper meaning, you know,
Well, that too.
just for them kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Like
What's the most weirdest, strangest tattoo you've ever done?
Gosh. Well, does Ray count? The guy we just looked at?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
He's up there, dude.
He is up there. Kind of stuff like that. I mean, and then I would do like some freehand stuff. Coming up pretty soon, there's probably going to be a pic of the green sleeve I did. And that one is actually kind of odd compared to normal tattoos, I would say. And that was my own creation. So
What does
there's
it
that.
say right there? I can't really read it too well.
It says
Blessing?
blessed. Yeah, that was a cover up actually of something that was on her thumb there.
I need to get some cover ups too, but a
I'm
lot of people
an expert at cover ups.
a lot of people say that
Because-
you should be ashamed of having a woman's name on your back, you know. But I'm cool
Why?
with it. I'm cool with it.
That doesn't make any sense. Ashamed? Why should you be ashamed of anything? I mean, come on.
Well, first of all, they misspelled her name. It was supposed to be
Oh,
Mariah, and they spelled it Maria. So it's not really technically attached to anybody.
I could probably change that to an H if you'd like. I'm just saying when I'm visiting.
Well, if I have to go to that extent, I might as well just do a cover up. You know
You
what
could
I
just
mean?
do a cover up, yeah.
So
In
But-
Arizona, since there's no licensing for anyone, there's it kind of goes on everywhere, of course, but out here it seems like there's even shops that do really shitty work. Like there was a shop down the road from Viking where I was doing cover-ups almost every day. Somebody coming in from their shop where they got a tattoo and it's all fucked up and they want to fix it, and I'm like, well, you got to wait for it to heal first. They can't fix it for a couple of weeks, or whatever. So I mean, out here it's just crazy tattoos all the time. So there's a lot of cover-ups going on. So I became an expert at it, having so many people come in, wanting cover-ups.
with that one though, I mean, it was like I'm glad they didn't do that. And like you were talking about people passing out, it was like I've passed out, but I was like really, really drunk, and I was falling asleep with my arm over the
that's
side
totally
of the water
different.
bed.
That's totally different than
You
passing
know.
out. Yeah.
I mean,
Usually,
go ahead.
it was usually if you're passing out like that, the person, you just keep tattooing on the person as long as they don't jerk awake,
Well, I mean, if I would have stayed awake, he wouldn't have misspelled the freaking name. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It's like,
You should have had a stencil on there anyway,
no, it was all freehand, dude. It
Was
was
it?
gel gun freehand. I just stole like
That's messed
freaking
up.
a. I'd stole like freaking 3 cases of beer and brought it back to the house, and we were
Oh
getting
yeah,
drunk.
many nights of that. Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah, yeah.
know, so
Yeah, when I was beginning, absolutely.
like the night already was starting out in a bad direction. So I kind of figured out that like, uh, well, I don't even know why I volunteered to get a tattoo. To be honest with you, I was so drunk. I just remember laying on that water bed.
That's funny.
So,
That happens with a lot of folks' tattoos, you know.
um, so
Hmm.
that is what beautiful.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just like a little candy drops is what it looks like.
Can now the arm one I saw it, but I think it skipped it.
Oh,
Wait,
it's
no.
probably in the next batch or something.
Hold on a minute. I
It's in there
think I see
somewhere.
it. I think I see it. Is this it?
Nope,
This
that's a foot.
that's
There's
a
the arm. The
this
green
it.
one at the front. I don't think I gave you a bigger picture, but I did put some more pictures in there that you can show if you want.
Be
That's
love.
David Wilcock's signature. Uh-huh. And his, I'm like, what do you want me to write by your name? He's like, be love. Actually, he wrote that on, and then I tattooed it on me in the car at one of
Mhm.
his talks.
Cool.
It was at the One Love Festival in California.
So that, I don't even want to know.
Oh, it was fun. I wanted to meet him, and then I was going to tattoo it on my butt, his signature.
Uh-huh.
Then I realized, well, how am I going to reach my butt to tattoo it? So I decided to do it on my hand. He was excited. It got his attention with the butt thing. He was looking to sign somebody's butt when I got there. I'm like, no, I changed it to my hand. He was
Well,
a
I
good
mean,
guy. I got
you
a
really,
picture with him too.
you really don't want to put a tattoo on yourself after you've gone to a One Love convention. You know what I mean?
I only went there to meet him, so
Okay.
you know, it was
Mhm.
like that.
Okay, so this one is the one that goes with the couple, right? With the where was it?
The second,
Right there.
that's the green
That's the
sleeve.
that's the sleeve you was talking about,
No,
right?
not that one. Go
The
back
one
to the bright green one.
oh yeah.
That's the top part of the sleeve. I did that in 2010
It's nice.
before everything got all crazy like it did.
Mm.
Yeah, there's another picture I threw in there in Teams at the end. It's just a couple more
Okay.
that shows the whole thing, or at least more of it. I have a video actually of me tattooing that. I meant to put it on my website. I just haven't yet.
This one right here. This one right
No,
here.
the sleeve, the green sleeve, the
Oh,
free
okay.
sleeve. That's the free one that I decided to do. Yeah, that's the free one. Uh-huh.
That- See, I need to get more familiar with using this thing, so you gotta excuse me if I'm not
Oh, you're
really.
doing great. You're doing fantastic.
I'm not really a big fan of Teams, you know what I mean? But like, I can
Yeah.
give them. At least they were able to bring this with them when they discontinued Skype. That's a good thing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. At
now,
least, huh?
this the sleeve you were talking about earlier?
Nope. That was one on my ex-husband, or my tattoo shop partner that I did on him. Is an Irish guy.
Okay, so what's the face about? Is there a story
That's
behind it?
a tree guy. It's the old. They're called. What are they called? It's the tree spirits. You know how they have faces on the trees.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the
Yeah,
tree guys.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Bunch of tree loving hippies.
Tree loving hippies, tree hugging.
No,
That's
I didn't
right.
say I don't call nobody tree hugging unless they want it.
Unless they want it.
You know.
uh, oh my.
No, the skull. This right here. You got a story for that one?
Um. Well, that was just on one of my customers out here in Arizona. It was just kind of a only took a couple hours, I guess. It didn't take too long. It's pretty big on his chest though.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, he's Dan, the plumber guy.
I
Yeah,
don't
he's
even.
pretty cool.
I don't even. I
He's
don't
pretty
even
cool.
like the plumber
I
guy.
actually have a story about him and his ex-wife, but I won't. I'll spare you.
Oh, you can say it. This is a tat. This is a tat
Unless
interview. Like,
it's nothing exciting really, but
okay.
they saved me, so
Oh,
they're
they did?
sweethearts. Yeah, they're sweethearts.
And then this is the dolphin that you were looking for, right? Though I didn't.
Yeah, that I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the dolphin guy. The little dolphin guy.
All right. And then we get to the wretched devil worshipping. It's actually pretty good. I like tribal. Now, that's something that I did not put in my questions that needs to be talked about. What's some of the coolest tribal that you think you could use when it comes
Oh
to
my
making a
gosh.
tattoo?
Well, tribal in the industry, tribal is very like, like dude comes in and, hi, can I help you? I want a big, huge tribal right here. Be like, okay, hold on. And you go to your coworkers. And you're like, this dude wants tribal. You're doing it. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people consider tribal to be super duper boring, and I don't really. I mean, it's all tattooing just the same, but there is just a lot of packing ink into the skin with tribal. It's really very easy actually, but not a lot of people like doing it. So so there's a lot of I've got a big tribal piece I'll throw in the chat here. Let me find it here.
Okay.
But yeah, I've definitely done my share of tribal for sure. And tribal is actually a really good test of your tattoo skills. Just like doing a star, just a regular, like 5-pointed star or nautical star.
Mhm.
Those are like really good tests on your skills because it's certain. It has to be a certain way. If the line's crooked, you're going to be able to tell. If the tribal's not got ink everywhere packed in there, you're going to be able to see it. So it's a test of a artist's skills, really, for sure.
Now, if you want to stay up there with your face and everything, that's cool because that kind of looks professional whenever it has you on one side and then the tats on the other. So it's up to you if you want to do that
That's
or not.
fine. Whatever.
Because
Whatever's fine.
I noticed you went off the screen and everything, but so you already put it up on Teams?
Oh, I did. I didn't mean to do that. It must have shut it off by itself. Sorry.
Okay. Let me see if I can find what you just
No,
posted.
I'm putting it up there right now.
Okay.
Doing it right now.
Yeah, because that kind of looks pretty professional, the way the video
I
looks
also
right
put
there.
I also put an oil painting up there too.
Oh,
I did.
wow.
Janis Joplin. And a flower. It's one of a flower too.
I've seen the
Yes.
sunflower you got there. That looks pretty cool.
Oh, this was acrylic, actually, an acrylic painting. Actually, that might have been oil. Yeah, well, the Janis Joplin was definitely oil. The other one, I think, was acrylic. It might have been oil. I can't recall, really. I
Okay.
was kind of using both at the time. That was on our Sunday painting days that we used to have at the shop.
I'm probably going to have to drop out of the photos and then start it back up so that I can get it
Okay,
added.
let me put a couple more in there.
There
Trying
we
to
go.
find that tribal one to show you. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, overall, that tribal piece probably cost that dude lunch, really.
So that's a tattoo right there.
No, that's an oil painting. It's on
That's
like
an
a
oil
9
paint.
9x11.
Okay.
Mhm.
Did you paint that?
Yeah, these are the
That's good.
oil paintings that I did. Yeah, and the other pictures are there's some snapshots from my portfolio, my actual physical portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Right here.
Yeah, and there's some tattoos that I don't have digital, or in digital form. That's why I threw that up there for you.
Okay.
And throw these couple in here. And I do have some pictures of my storefront with the team, the the team of tattooers we had out there. We only had an apprentice, and we ended up hiring another guy whose name was Grim. I
I've,
met him at a bar, actually.
Graham, hold up. That sounds familiar.
There's a lot of tattoo artists named Grim.
Okay, you got me for
Yeah.
like don't.
So
I keep forgetting. Like I'm getting old, man. You know what I mean. If I tried to run with a tat artist today, dude, I'd freaking probably have a heart attack. I think it's easier being around my freaking mom than what it is being around a tat artist, and she's
oh, I don't know. I'm not that. I mean, I'm pretty
you'd break my back,
tame.
dude. Yeah, right.
I'm super tame
Hmm.
compared to, you know,
Well, I'm just.
how it
I'm
used to
just.
be.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying there. The way it used to be is a lot different than what it is today, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Everything is really, you know.
Mhm. So,
Oh,
did you put those things in?
still looking here. I
It's
did put a couple more in, but I'm still looking for the other ones here.
okay.
I
Hold on
just
a
seen
minute.
it yesterday. I was showing Mark W. all of like the cool tattoos they had
Hmm.
going on, and so I totally sent him that one. I should just copy it from that conversation because I got it in here somewhere. I don't see it. I only have 12. Oh, there it is. I only have 12 folders of stuff. You know how that goes.
Yeah, you got to collect all this stuff. I mean, because like that's how I am with all my videos and stuff. I have
I
like
bet.
I've got
I
an
bet.
organization of the
I
way
gotta
I
organize mine better.
Hmm.
upload my videos and stuff. It's like I have a whole filing system set up just for that.
There you go. There's a
There we
couple.
go. Oh yeah, see now you're getting down to the nitty gritty. This
That
is.
was the apprentice guy, the same guy
Hmm.
that had the potato cleaver on his back.
I wouldn't
He had
doubt
a
it, dude.
mohawk. We did
Hmm.
both sides of his head like that.
Yep,
Hmm.
I would not doubt it. Freaking
Yeah.
Mohawk, Liberty Spikes. What is
Hmm.
it? Now he was the Knox gelatin guy, right? He wasn't. He wasn't into all that freaking Kool Aid crap, right?
I'm not sure what you mean. What do
Knox
you mean?
gelatin to harden the freaking Liberty Spike. Spike.
Oh, you know what? I really don't know.
Should
I
have
don't know. I
asked.
know it was a process. It was a process for him to
Yes,
do that.
and that's what it is. And it's like you should have asked because those are important questions when it comes to
They are. They are.
to
Hmm.
to,
Hmm.
to Mohawks, man.
They are.
But yeah, Mike Riley is my buddy. He was the one who was the Mohawk guy, and he was into tattoos. He just didn't like paying for them. You know what I mean? That's nice.
Yeah.
He did an entire sleeve that big. I would have made him smaller.
Yeah.
Nope. You know what I mean? Put you to work.
Yeah. He did put me to work. That guy did.
Well, I mean, like
But
a
that was like that paid the bills. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I like.
Our electric bill was at $400 a month at that place.
Mhm. Well, actually, that's a good point. Now, if he would have wanted you to do that in smaller, like all the same area, but make the design smaller, how much would that have cost him?
It would have costed more. We went by time. That's
Hmm.
usually what I do now too. Is I just charge by the time it takes. So just would depend on how long it would take.
How long did it
And we
take
did
you to do
several
that?
sessions. We
Hmm.
did several sessions with him. I'm not sure exactly how long that one took. It probably was at least 3 sessions though. And usually 2 hours a piece is what I would go for sessions, depending on how you know, they were doing and things like that.
So yeah,
Hmm. And I got a couple of pictures of the shop I'll throw in here.
what was you going to ask, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, same as you, just the time.
Yeah,
Just
Mm-hmm.
the time. Yeah.
Dad. There you go. Now, you see, we need to make one like this and have Mark Latashik put it on and have it say Big Daddy.
That was for his dad, Father's Day. He got that one. Him and his dad were drinking buddies.
Hmm.
The next one is another shot of the same one, the same thing.
Oh, that's cool. That's a better shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah,
Now
that was
there.
on a relative, so, he's I practiced a lot on him. Or not practiced, but he would let me do anything I wanted to on him.
Mhm.
Kind of like that.
Now that's the sleeve again. And just so it's clear to the people who are viewing, tell everybody what a sleeve is, because a lot of people might not understand what that is when you say the word sleeve.
Okay. Well, a sleeve is just getting an entire theme done in one, kind of one particular theme on your whole entire arm. So it's basically, usually it's covered all the way around when we say sleeve. However, some people just do like the outside of it. That would be a half sleeve. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times half sleeves are referred to as just either the lower part or the upper part. That would actually, if you just get something right here, that's like a quarter sleeve kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's kind of how we get down with that.
Now, me personally, I would say if you get an entire sleeve, you have just completely gone over the edge and became addicted to tattoos. And a lot of people are addicted to tattoos.
Yeah, they're actually very addicting,
You
for
know,
sure.
Sonia, as you can see, is very, very addicted to tattoos.
Not so much anymore. The older you get, the more it's kind of hurts. And anymore I'm like, ow, ow, that's okay. It looks great. Thank you. I'm done.
So,
Kind of thing.
what? Well, if you had a chance to go and do it all over again, what tattoo would you actually put on you that you didn't put on you already?
Well, I probably would have saved these areas right here because these days, a lot of folks, they'll get like words right here, like
Mm-hmm.
American badass or whatever, something like that, where they can just hold up their arms and transmit a message. So back when I started, getting into this, nobody was doing that. So yeah, those were already taken up spots. So I probably would have, and also I would have themed. When you're getting a sleeve, this is very important information actually. When you're getting a sleeve or any larger piece of tattoo that takes more than one session,
Uh-huh.
um, always stick with the same artist that started it. If you can,
Mm-hmm.
don't change artists midway because usually you'll end up with tattoos over the top of tattoos over the top of tattoos, and it's not, I'm sure, what it's not what I envisioned in the first spot, when I first went into it.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, if you're going to do a sleeve or a big piece like that, back piece, anything like that, stick with the same artist, no matter how much it costs. Just save up money, every paycheck or whatever, and get that artist to finish it, so that you end up with something that you'll like, because it'll be there, and you want to be able to look at your arm and go, yeah, that's cool. It's just what I wanted, instead of like, fuck, I need to get that covered up or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that too because I've heard that a lot from a lot of people where they freaking say the same thing where
Hmm.
if you go to a tattoo artist to get a tattoo and he's not screwing it up, you keep going to him to finish it. Don't freaking go switching some on him because there's two different
Yes.
styles.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was going
Yes.
to say,
Different styles for
for
every
the purpose,
artist.
Right.
for the purpose of consistency, each artist will have their own sort of styling. Yeah.
Hmm. Exactly.
Well,
Exactly. So you
I
kind of want to go with somebody like their style, and the consultation outlines all that stuff. So
consultation.
yeah, consultation is very important in tattooing. You definitely want to have a consultation, find the right artist, things like that,
Okay,
for
explain.
whatever you're trying to get tattooed.
See that
Whereas
gets
there's
that's
people who are portrait artists. There's some people who are not portrait artists. If you want a portrait, you got to find the right person to do it, for sure.
let's see now you're getting all up into the fancy stuff.
Fancy,
The
fancy.
the fancy professional stuff that I have absolutely no idea about. You know what I mean? Like
Right?
Now I know about portfolios. I understand
Yep.
that. Like I know
Yep.
that if you go to a tattoo artist, you first thing you want to do when you walk through the door is let me look at your portfolio.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's important because
Yep. You
then
got to have a portfolio with all the work up there that you want to continue doing. Like if
hmm
you don't want to do tribal pieces, don't put that in your portfolio. You know what I mean? Because
hmm
inevitably someone will ask you to do something just like that.
hmm
So, wow, that picture doesn't look like it's very good quality. Jeez.
well, it's probably my fault
Oh,
because
well, it could be.
I'm trying to like I'm trying to kind of go through and get their faces so that at least when you have a video, you'll have a picture of your buddies that are on the video with them. You know.
Yeah,
So.
I was a tidbit heavier there, as you can tell.
hmm
And there's Grim with his face tattoo. I met him at a bar actually, and then we became kind of friends, hanging out. And then I'm like, "Hey, you want to come work in my shop?" It was really, 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 really hard to find an artist who knew what the f they were doing,
hmm
or who if they're a pro artist, you figure they don't need apprentice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was one of them. He was like an old school guy, for sure. But
Awesome.
he definitely could take care of customers. Any walk in he could do, except for he didn't do portraits really. But yeah, so it was really hard to get somebody in there, and we were busy as f at that shop too. I mean, there was one point where we couldn't fit anybody else in the door. There were people trying to come in. I'm in the middle of a tattoo. Everybody else is tattooing. Actually, it was just me and Sean at the time. And there's T-shirts I made, screen printed myself back in the day. I've always been into the T-shirt thing.
hmm
But yeah, so nobody else could fit in the door, and I'm like trying to, and I go sit back down. Somebody else would come in, and then pretty soon we had a line, and I'm like, okay, guys, we can't take any more appointments today. It was crazy. It was cool though,
yeah.
highly sought after.
Okay. So we know now where your T-shirt obsession came from.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's pretty much gone along with every part of your career, hasn't it? You love
pretty
T-shirts.
much, except for beauty school,
Well, the
beauty.
beauty school thing
Yeah,
threw me off when I first heard about that.
yeah. I
Okay.
did hair for 10 years while I was learning to tattoo at home. Teaching myself.
hmm I mean, when you told me that, that just blew me out of the water. So you can do a
Can't you tell
woman's.
with my beautiful hair?
Well, I mean,
Kidding.
that's a lot of dynamic there. You know what I'm saying? You can do a woman's hair, give her a tattoo,
Hmm.
freaking sell her a T-shirt, and bam, she's good to go.
Yeah, it's all about looks, apparently. But it's an important thing how you present yourself. To me, how you present yourself to the world. It's a self expression thing, Mark. I mean, like you're wearing a suit. Could you imagine just wearing a t-shirt? I mean, you want to wear a suit. It's like a self expression thing. You want to present yourself in
Yeah,
a certain
yeah.
way, just like people who have tattoos across their forehead. They want it, which I've done many of those. But they want to. That's how they want people to see them. Some of my friends have their
Mm.
whole face tattooed. Seriously, like you can't even unless they put makeup on. They look. You can't really see their face. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Those are kind of the prison type side of things. But there are those who have never been to even jail that tattoo their face up like that too. So
hmm
Mm.
yeah,
Yep,
I'm sure you've seen them.
seen that quite a
Mm.
bit,
Hmm.
and I know there's a lot of people too that'll get them on their head because they know they can just grow their hair back over it and nobody'd see them.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh,
Mm.
that's the next one I'm going to find real quick before we get done with the picture thing is
hmm
my head tattoo. I've got a good picture of it in here somewhere. I had a mohawk for a little while, and this started when let's see if I can find it here. Oh, it disconnected my hard drive. Hold on, I got to plug my hard drive back in. But it was funny because when I was married to my first husband, the UFO guy,
uh-huh.
Jeff Willis, I always would joke because when you're married for a while, you kind of just ignore each other for the most part,
hmm
and it's like when I came home, I'd be like, "Hi," all excited, and he'd like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like So I used to joke about how I could go get my head shaved, and get a tattoo on the sides of my head, and he would not even notice that happened. So it started like that, and then this was way after we were divorced, though, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get a head tattoo. So I got Valkyrie wings tattooed on the sides of my head. I'll find a picture here in a second if my computer lets me. But yeah, that's so I love head tattoos. Actually, the ink doesn't really want to stay in there very well, though. Unfortunately, but
it's interesting that we almost forgot to mention the skull, because that is actually something that a lot of people like to do. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand it. No, I don't understand why a person, especially after the shoulder blade, okay, why they would do that to their head. The thing that's so bad about that is after it's done, okay, that hair is going to keep growing. And then you have to keep that shaved too, because if you don't, them little hairs are going to cause infection if you don't take care of it. You know what I mean? Keep it clean, shaved down. I mean, my God, that I could never do that. The whole maintenance behind it is horrible. I don't know. That's just me. It wouldn't really be the actual pain from doing the tattoo. I don't think it would be, but
it will go after work, yeah.
Because that's what I've always noticed. It was never the actual pain during the time that it's being made. It's after the tattoo's done. That really stuck out to me. I think Sonia is taking something that happened to her audio, that hard drive. You there, Sonia? She had to run to the bathroom real quick.
Maybe.
Oh. Now let me. I'll cancel that out. Now she's probably. She could have just let me do it. It probably would have been easier for her. She's moving. I can hear things moving there.
Yeah.
I can put your mic back on. We want to hear your beautiful voice.
Okay.
You can't take the mic off while you're being interviewed. That's a no-no. That's a no. That's a no-no.
Vaguely.
Miss Sonia Galactec.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's fine.
My camera's on the blitz too. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
It's your screen share down here at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Undo your screen share and it should straighten it out.
Oh. Oh.
You see what I mean?
Well, it says start screen share.
Well, don't do that.
Yeah. I figured you probably didn't want to.
Now, where the camera is, that little camera right there, click on that and see if it has your camera selected.
Yeah, it did. And now, all of a sudden, it's because I got it going through a USB, I think is what the deal is.
Here,
it's like freaking out.
I'll interrupt
I'll get it going.
the screen share real quick.
I'll get it going here in a second. Silly. I need more USB ports on my computer is what the deal is.
Silly Willy. Wow, how much screen shares? Oh my gosh.
Maybe if I hop out and hop back in, huh?
No, we got you now.
No, you're there, man. Yeah. Oh,
hold on.
We did. We did.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
We're back.
It's working. Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
There we go. We did it. So.
We did it.
We were able to get it up to 2 hours and 6 minutes. Now, we did 15 minutes of setting up on the stream, so we need to come up with 6 more minutes of you talking about something really cool about tattoos that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then we'll have you give all your information on how people can get in touch with you about tattoos, your t-shirts, and everything. And you got to do this flawless without any kind of problems whatsoever.
You were kind of cutting in and out right there. Can you say that again?
No, I can't. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I think you said something like, I heard something about the 15 minutes of setup and talk about whatever I wanted or something.
Yeah, here in like for 7 minutes, tell us the coolest things you could ever tell us about tattooing in your life and everything.
The coolest things ever. Gosh.
All of it. You can get spiritual too if you want to.
Kind of already did.
Did you?
One artist. Okay. Well, there's something. When you're going through, like I was telling you about the therapeutic side of tattooing, when you're going through something that is emotionally stressful, kind of like maybe a divorce or something like that. I know it really helped me when I was going through a divorce to get over shit not working out or whatever was going on, to get a tattoo that's something that's just for you, or something that symbolizes the positivity in everything, or whatever's bringing you through it, like your strengths and things like that. If you symbolize that somehow, and then put that on your body as maybe like where you can see it, like a reminder of the positive parts, or why you're doing what you're doing and things like that, to kind of refer back to that, or have that with you at all times, like a visual reminder of your spiritual strengths, or the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Like in my case, I chose to get a divorce because of this, that, and the other thing. So, it's like what drives you, like that motivates you. So if you have something like that, that helps you get through things, like a symbol, or even a portrait of someone's, like your grandma or somebody's picture, or just whatever, even a little teddy bear, tattooed on, whatever is important to you that lifts your spirits. That's some really good advice, I think, as far as tattooing goes. And also pick your artist, go to someone who you admire their work, and make sure that all of the stuff in the portfolio is their work. There's few that, kind of lie about that, but there are those out there. Usually they're young kids, that they put other people's work in there. I mean, we've caught a few of them doing that, bringing in their portfolio for a job. And I'm like, well, you didn't do this because that, like Kat, the chick that used to have the tattoo show, she did that. So why are you putting it in your portfolio saying it's your work? It's like, get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that to look out for too. So was that
That
sufficient?
was beautiful. Now the next thing I need is to ask Mark Edworthy, after this entire conversation, are you ready to go get a tattoo yet?
Let me have a further think about that one.
Okay. Because we were talking about that earlier, and I was pretty sure that Sonia could sell you on a good idea when it comes to a tattoo. And
I am extremely squeamish when it comes to needles and stuff. So
yeah, me too. I won't get a shot. You'd have to knock me out to give me a shot. So it's kind of like, I totally feel that. And you know what? And there's a difference between the needles, and this is what I would tell customers too, that were scared of needles, because I don't like needles either. But this needle just barely scratches the surface. It only goes in like maybe the second layer, the epidermis in there a little bit. It doesn't go in super deep, and it actually, some parts actually kind of feel good. There again, it depends on where you're getting it done at and your state of mind. And what I found, and this is good advice too, what I found is the more you want the tattoo, like if you have your heart set on a certain tattoo, you can get that tattoo anywhere and it's not going to hurt. You know, you might be, oh, but it's not going to hurt because you want it so bad. If you're getting a tattoo that you're like, take it or leave it, you know, which most people don't unless they're in the industry. Like, I've got plenty of tattoos where I'm like, oh, that's cute, put it on. But those kinds hurt a lot worse. Like, if you don't really care about the tattoo that much, it's going to, like, really hurt more. At least in my experience. So, there you go. So that's another thing, too.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think you should do it, Mark. And it's an instant badass. I've divergenized many of folks. And
you said divergenized.
It's divergenized. Yeah, that's what it is. Tattoo. You're a tattoo virgin right now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But once you get divergenized, I mean, it's like an instant badass thing that you got going on for sure. So, I highly recommend doing it and just getting something that's like my first tattoo, actually, that I did on myself. I had a little rose that I got done at a party where I stood up and put my leg on the kitchen table back when I was like 18. But the first one I did on myself, believe it or not, I was like hesitant. I'm like, what should I do? Oh my God, I don't know. And I had to think of something that I would not change my mind about, or that wouldn't, you know how trends kind of change things. Like to be woke used to be cool until they took that, and now it's to be retarded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, good thing I didn't get that tattooed on me, kind of thing. So
don't trigger me.
So it's kind of like that. But yeah, so I ended up, I liked the Doors a lot. Back then I used to have a shrine of Jim Morrison in my house. It was in the 90s or whatever. So anyway, so I got the Doors, just the letters, you know, their logo, and I tattooed that on my leg for my first tattoo. So just something that's close to your heart that you won't change your mind about, like terms and conditions maybe, or something like that.
Well, it's cool that you did that right there at the end, because that's one question I forgot to ask you, and that should have been a no-brainer. The first question is your first tattoo, and I apologize about that.
Oh, right, yeah,
I'm glad you said that, because that should have been a no-brainer. The first question out of my mouth. So,
it should have.
Man,
that is a very good first question.
Well, that should have been the first. Like, everybody asks, like that's always the first question everybody asks is, what was your first tattoo, or do you have any tattoos? You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Right. Which do you have any is kind of evident at this point.
Well, I mean, I've got a few, but I don't want people to see them because they're like in personal places. And that's something that you could think of too, Mark, is like, just get it somewhere personal that nobody can see, just you. That way you can look at it and you can say, man, this is a cool freaking tattoo. You know what I mean? Something that you would like. You don't have to have. You don't have to have it.
You don't have to share it with anybody.
You know, just if you're
so I have one last picture I put up there, Raj. Sorry it took me so long to find it.
Okay.
But it's the one of my mohawk.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, baby.
Let me get that hooked up and ready to go.
I want to get you trained on doing this photo thing for your next shows.
Trust me, there ain't no way of training me. I ain't no trainable person.
I know, right? I've watched some of your other videos where you have talked about not being trained, especially by a woman.
Well, not being trainable. That's the thing, man.
Well, I think you're probably... I don't think people should train people anyway, but
thank you.
I think just getting along with people is kind of the thing, right?
Now, see, that's tribal right there on the side of the head. That is
not work. It's not tribal, sir.
That is really
that
good.
That is like what's on my neck is not work kind of thing. Well, on some skulls too, but you know how it's over under, like on my hammer.
Oh wait, yeah, you okay? I see
not
what
work.
you're saying. Okay, it is not work.
And I had a better one, but I don't know where it is. But then it goes into wings, so it has the wings in the back. They're my Valkyrie wings, because I'm a Valkyrie kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah. Sorry, I guess I could have had a better picture, but I
got
fine. So many pictures everywhere.
That is perfect.
The feathers look kind of cool too, though. But Yeah, I don't shave my head anymore, as you can see, but it's
And,
always
and
an option.
to be honest, man, I mean, you've got a lot of good quality pictures compared to a lot of people I've seen with that pictures. Like they aren't really that great. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's another thing too. That's part of the apprentice training is what to put in your portfolio and what not to put in your portfolio. And you always want to put your best work in your portfolio, and take out there again any of the stuff you either don't want to do or old stuff where you have gained in skills now. You know, you're better than what the picture, because that you'll progress as you move on. If you're embarking on a tattoo career, you definitely will get better, and you'll want to keep your portfolio up to date for sure. And when you're taking pictures, it's a whole section of training, because when you're taking pictures, a lot of mistakes that they will make is to take a picture of a tattoo they have not cleaned or finished. And if you want to take progression pictures, absolutely, that's fine. But you don't ever want to put those in your portfolio, because people that look in there, they're not going to know what a progression picture is unless you have the finished product next to it. They'll just think that you don't know what the fuck you're doing, basically, or it just doesn't look good because it's not a completed tattoo yet. So you'll want to always put your progression pictures in with the completed picture if you're going to put that in your portfolio. Otherwise, it just, it doesn't come off well. And you just want to, kind of keep it up to date for sure.
there you
With
go.
your best work.
You see, that is the best way that we can end it. We've covered the full. We've done a 2-hour interview.
Wow.
We did really good, and when I was talking, I mean, I'm glad you said all of that, because that is cool information that people should know. I was just talking about like the quality of the pictures, so I'm glad you even mentioned that, because I was just talking about you have good quality photos, and that's what really stuck out to me.
Make sure you clean your tattoo as well before you take a picture of it, and lighting is also very important. Yeah, because that will make it look like a shitty tattoo when it's not a shitty tattoo. You want to have the best lighting as possible. In our shop, we used to have a little area where it had 3 mirrors around it and all this kind of stage lighting and stuff, to where we would take people over there to take pictures of their tattoos, and they would pose. It was really cool, actually.
Okay, now keeping in mind that this is your tattoo interview, okay, tell everybody everything that pertains to how they can contact you with if they're interested in getting a tattoo.
Okay, I am going to be doing tattoos as I travel, most likely. So I'll probably set up a section in my RV for that, or I'll be able to go to people's houses, depending if they're not like insane. So there's that. Right now I'm in Arizona and Phoenix. So if you're in Arizona and you want a tattoo, I usually go to someone's house. I don't really bring strangers to my daughter's house or anything. So, but I would be willing to go to someone's house, or similar. And so galacticfire.com is where you would go to the contact page and just shoot me a message on there. You can also see my portfolio there too, where there's a lot of other pictures that we didn't show here today. So there's that. And if you like some t-shirts that inspire the fire, which is like your God spark, then I have t-shirts too. And I'm also have some guest spot stores of other people's t-shirts, like Jaffe's, like WPRPN t-shirts, and I also have 7 other stores in there of people who are, and they're all kind of in the spiritual community, like with UFOs and protection shirts, energy type shirts, things like that are in there too. And I've also got Chris's book up there, which is a new edition, which is the Montauk Boys Terror at Montauk, the PDF. So I got that up there too. And yeah, and if you want a tattoo or some t-shirts, let me know. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mark, thank you for being here. I would usually have you give it your other thing, but this is an interview, so I'm just gonna leave it up. Thank you for being here and being a part of the panel.
Yes.
We were expecting Mark Watoshik to show up, and all I can say to him is a shame. For shame, Mark Watoshik.
Indeed.
He's probably busy, you
Yeah, I
know.
know. He's probably having a lot of issues. He would have been here if he could have been here. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he would have because he enjoys being around you and having. This
Yeah.
right here would have been like the perfect interview for
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
to listen
And
to
he
with you.
he was talking the other night about how excited he was to show up. So
I'm
so
sure
he's
he's.
probably wrapped up in something, or
I'm
forgot,
I'm
you know.
guaranteeing you that he is most definitely watching this. So
Oh,
just to
that'd be
let you,
cool.
I'm
Hi,
I'm pretty sure he
Mark.
is. So with that being said, I'd like to say thank you for doing the interview with us, Sonia.
Absolutely.